I be having to tell niggas, they be thinking, nah, he just
I do this for fun.
spoon-fed. Nah, I ain't like
I just had to show y'all real quick. This is one of my hobbies.
Nah, I watch you, but you slow. What's up, cuz? I'm like, cuz you ain't mad.
Yeah, don't ever play with him.
I got paid to say that.
Oh, see, bruh? Son, come on,
I kept
man.
it real. I got paid. But I know the real truth, right? No, when I got paid,
Hey, who paid you?
50 cents.
I can't believe a stand-up dude doing his time would suddenly say, I don't want to be here no more.
Chaos is sweeping over the BMF world. Furthermore, 50 Cent seems to have made a mistake with this one. When Lil Meech tries to insert his pops, he's coming in at 50. He's not letting it go either. It is alleged that Big Meech is a snitch. But now, some are starting to suspect that 50 may have been making up the whole story. 50 went all out a few weeks ago to reveal Meech's involvement with the federal government, sharing memes and raving over some purportedly unique documents. But here's the part. The fact that for many years, the allegedly exclusive documents have been in the public domain. Additionally, at this, when 50 first attempted to persuade BMF to cast Lil Meech in the lead role and even covered the cost of his acting instruction, he was aware of it. Consequently, if 50 genuinely thought Big Meech was a snitch, why would they still go ahead and produce an entire event in his honor? People are coming out of the woods to claim that they were paid $50 to disseminate the Big Meech snitching narrative, and the problem has fully blown out of hand while he was mentoring his kid. Consequently, if this had occurred as people allege, the entire 1950s anti-Meek movement was about his love for Meech because she dated Rick Ross, not about telling the truth. Instead of keeping it to himself, though, 50 went on this entire quest, seeming to have brand new receipts when in fact, he was simply angry that Meech wasn't supporting him. The most ridiculous aspect is that 50 is still going strong. Recently, he attacked Big Meech on Instagram once more, claiming that Meech had instructed his former coworker Tammy Cowan to turn against him. When he initially joined Lil Meech for BMF, though, 50 was already aware of all of this. So why is it suddenly happening? An issue right now? Well, Lil Meech isn't sitting quietly anyway. His response is that 50 was punished for insulting his father and destroying the BMF concert. For him, as well as for all the actors and staff members who were let go because they were foolish. However, the real question is what Lil Meech plans to accomplish come back at 50. And is there a deeper motive behind 50's obsession with these accusations of snitching? Or did he just expose himself as a hypocrite? Now let's get started. When everyone thought 50 was finally easing his accusations of Big Meech being a snitch, he suddenly reversed his strategy and made another Instagram post, this time doubling down and accusing Meech of working with the federal government through his former associate Tammy Cowans. But he isn't stopping there. 50 took it a step farther. The BMF photos that Lil Meech uploaded show his face entirely blacked out, therefore that he is not coming back. 50 showed up in the speaking rashly in the caption, "Listen for Big Screech." You consistently forget that you instructed Tammy Cowans to have your time limited. Furthermore, 50 shared this a few days after Lil Meech made his position clear, so please know that this isn't a coincidence. In a recent social media post, Lil Meech showed his respect for his parents by posting a picture of himself with Big Meech. The caption said, "I made sure to ask God to bring my father home to my family before I asked him for anything else. Pops, you have heard my prayers. I really love you. Before dishonor comes death." Later on, Lil Meech modified his caption, keeping only the part about dying before dishonor. In other words, letting people know that he is struggling with the charges of spying on his father. Suppose, however, that Big Meech requested Tammy Cowans to help him have his time cut back in the 1950s. Now, given that 50 is so anti-snitch, why is he comfortable working with Tammy? Tammy is a producer of the BMF show on Stars, made in association with 50's G-Unit Films, TV Inc., and that's precisely why fans are accusing 50 of being hypocritical. Even if we accept the likelihood that Big Meech did, in fact, work in some capacity with Tammy Cowan, why is it now such a big deal? If you recall, 50 based a whole BMF program on the alleged legacy of Big Meech. Even after Big Meech's October release, 50 was there to show him love and discuss his desire to honor his story by introducing his kid, Lil Meech.
I had a text message conversation back and forth with him because he's in the halfway house.
What do you think his next move should be?
Well, he got a lot of things he can do, man. He might want to make a movie. He might want to do some different things where, because I understand how important real is to our culture, right? But when you develop in television, it's to find the best possible story you can find and then...
I mean it when I say choke. The fact that 50 was out here publicly applauding a former kingpin, but that the real problem today is that he might have snitched on other dealers, was also recently mentioned.
Meech for destroying the community. Destroying his own people. He was praised, cheered, and then now, if he tried to tell on somebody, allegedly, and help clean up the streets.
Terrence, a gangster, Williams, who spent time in the same prison as Big Meech, came up to attack 50 Cent and other industry players for labeling certain people as spies.
Do you think Big Meech, told on somebody to get out, snitched, did anything extra?
No. Let me tell you why. Big Meech's paperwork is public records. There is no proof that Big Meech said, hey, bust him, bust him, bust him. Now, the situation with the lady Tammy, the female that he cool with or whatever, mess with whatever, I was having an argument with somebody about this last night. Now, if we go by prison rules and standards, Big Meech didn't sit down with the agents and say, hey, my bro gonna go ahead and settle boy up for me, so make sure y'all give me the credit. So we couldn't make a move on him because his name...
Meech wasn't considered a rat in 50's eyes as long as they got along, but he became a snitch the instant he lost it with his colleague Rick Ross. Figure that out. Let's face it now, it was odd for Big Meech to join forces with Ross after everything that 50 had done for Lil Meech. According to Tony Yao's Vlad TV interview, Meech only needed to hit up 50 for a welcome home concert rather than tampering with Ross if he really needed some quick cash.
I look at that was bad management too, because we just was over there. We just took a picture with you at your house. But I felt like when we left there, it was a money thing, because what Lil Meech said about the Ferrari and Little Baby having 4 pockets full of money and didn't give his pops nothing. You know what I'm saying? Me, I would have never, if a nigga, I wouldn't even have mentioned no shit like that in front of real niggas anyway. That's just me. But Meech is a little kid and it's understandable. He's young, make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Fifth, we just came off 103 dates. All Meech had to do was ask 50 to do the show with
So this whole situation isn't about a lack of street code or morals. He's trying to give the impression that he has a moral objection to snitching, but let's be honest, he hasn't had any issues with this information in years. It's only 50's personal resentment of Ross. Now he's just pulling it out because it works. For him, the fact that 50 did a lot more for the Flannery family than Ross ever did would have been sufficient justification for him to cut off ties with Ross. Since Big Meech hurried to Ross, he really only had to declare that he felt exploited. Meech. 50 truly put on Lil Meech when no one else was searching for him at the end of the day. Even Lil Meech admitted that he was lost before bonding with 50. Despite his lack of direction and knowledge of his future, 50 recognized something in him, mentored him, and even paid for his acting classes for 2 full years. To make things simple, he might have kept his bread and hired a more seasoned performer rather than betting on Lil Meech.
My dad was calling me from jail every day. He was like, man, what you gonna do? Like, shit, I don't know. I always knew I wanted to be my own person. It's just hard, to live up to my dad's name. And he called me one day, he's like, man, they looking at Terrence Howard and Nipsey Hussle, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to play me, but you gotta go to acting class so you can get ready. So I met 50. 50 put me in acting class.
In addition, Lil Meech Loki handled the baggage improperly. He reportedly chose to spend the majority of his BMF checks on designer clothes and jewelry rather than setting aside funds and planning for the future. To make matters worse, Tony Yao criticized him for his haughty demeanor, claiming that he was out here telling industry people like Lil Baby that they should be supporting Big Meech. However, look at this. While Lil Meech was out here pleading for money, Yayo claimed he was turning around and spending $100,000 on chrome hearts.
So, the show was successful, 3 seasons in. Lil Meech was making money, but he was spending it hand over fist. Like you said, there was the Richard Mille watch, which he got, almost arrested over.
you see it yourself.
There
It was
all the clothes.
Yeah, it's
I'm seeing go-yard luggage.
Yeah,
like, this is shit that I afforded later on in life.
Come on, man. Niggas know. And then you in Atlanta at that, where niggas indulge in spending money. Like, you see a nigga motherfucking with 100,000 poking out his pocket. Niggas is doing 40, 50,000 in the club. That's what you around, nigga. You gonna spend money. Chrome heart jeans. You got 10 pair of those, do the math. What's that, 100,000? Shout to chrome heart. You know what I'm saying? But you know me, I get some chrome hearts, I'm gonna wear them shits for.
Here's where it gets even stranger though. 50 just made it clear once more that Lil Meech was acting out and that 50 had to step in and correct him. Additionally, 50 allegedly covered the cost of his therapy after discovering Lil Meech's whippet addiction. That stuff about nitrous oxide laughing gas? Yes. Furthermore, according to 50, Big Meech harbored a secret jealousy of Lil Meech's relationship. He even posted it publicly on Instagram, I think. Insecure about Mimi's bond with Mimi, I tell Mimi, I chill, after he tells me that he used to do X like it was great, and I tell him that I don't want him to do anything. Don't blow all of your cash. He let him know that he had lost money. No one knows that I had to send Mimi to therapy. When Russell Hornsby was on set, he looked at his high AF. The little man started throwing up during a weapons test, and Ian told me that he had whippets in his truck. I yelled, "What the F are whippets?" I see that it's the desire to be in BB guns, but Lil Meech isn't attempting to accept responsibility. He's 50 now, clapping back like he's untouchable. Go check out. Hours after 50 shared the questionable BMF promotional photos with Lil Meech's face blacked out, Lil Meech made news with a comeback that nobody saw coming. After that, he posted the same images to Instagram, but this time, his face was prominently displayed as though he were making a statement. Just to prove that he is still dedicated to the show, despite 50's efforts to discredit him, Lil Meech went one step further and released a promotional video for the next season of BMF. Now, more than ever, fans are confused. Is it true that Lil Meech Loki is still a member of the BMF, regardless of what 50 claims? Has he already agreed to the new season's contract? That means 50 can't even hurt him. Here comes the insane bit. Supporters claim that 50 started the entire incident with Big Meech and the accusations of snitching simply to raise awareness of the forthcoming season. One of the fans even added the comment, "What if the beef was fake just to promote the show?" to Lil Meech's accounts. One commenter also said, "Everything 50 is doing is a promotion for everything. Remember I told you that attention sells." This argument, however, is not being accepted by some, who argue that it is illogical because the filming was clearly completed, long before the drama even started. It might be against the law for Lil Meech to advertise it on his social media pages. Push it. But just when we thought it couldn't be any wilder, Rick Ross made the decision to turn the heat up. He is currently threatening to obtain a master's in his 50s. Ross offered to purchase all of 50's works of art after making a derogatory video about his tale that said he was experiencing problems launching his G-Unit film studios.
See, I was the only person that fucked 50 Cent up. I ain't know that. I'ma be honest. Tony Yayo told 50 Cent himself, y'all could Google it. Tony Yayo said, I wouldn't do that if I was, cause Tony Yayo know them ain't got no money. Come on, man, look at Tony Yayo and Auntie Murder nigga. Them niggas need facials. Oh, skin ain't even right, boy. But look, 50. Who on your masters? I'll buy your master.
But Ross was not quite done. He then reposted a message from 50 from April 2024, in which he announced the expansion of G-Unit Film and TV studios. Then he hit him hard with a sly comment. "It's been 50 years. How come it's taking so long?" The number of questions is 21. Ross also took it a step further by reposting a Rap TV Instagram post and humorously adding a comment to demonstrate his seriousness about handling masters of the 1950s, the cheese symbol. However, you should not expect Ross to unwind, not content. To stop there, he came back with another video in which he openly mocked 50 for allegedly experiencing problems. He even said that 50 was trying to acquire Big Meech because Meech was seeing Ross, which was hypocritical. Meanwhile, Floyida and DJ Khaled, who both extensively rock with Ross, are still fine with 50.
These people know you really admire me. You love my style, the way I dress, the money I get. And let them know that if you really could, you would put all this shit to the side to do business with me and work with me. It's the truth. I know it is. Because when you see me stand next to Big Meech, your knees buckle. Oh, my ops, friends is my ops. I'm my ops, all that fake talk. But when you see my brother DJ Khaled, you hugged that boy and drooled on his Amiri. You drooled. When you see little bro Flow Rider, you pick that boy up by the waist and lift him up. Woo!
I be having to tell niggas be thinking.
I do this for fun. I just had to show y'all real quick. It's one of my hobbies.
Nah, I watch it. About you some low. What's up, cuz? I'm not cousin, you ain't mad.
Yeah, don't ever play with him.
I got paid to say that.
Oh, see, bruh? Son, come on,
I kept it
man.
real. I got paid. But I know the real truth, right? No, when I got paid,
Hey, who paid you?
This whole catastrophe did, in fact, turn out to be far more significant than anyone had thought. Big Meech's snitching claims are still being promoted by 50 people, with Lil Meech trapped in the midst. He makes a vow to stick with 50 1 minute, and then he shows up with Ross the next. In the interim, Ross keeps hurling gas at the fire, shooting at 50, and even making threats. As we watch to see how 50 claps return, kindly share your opinions with us. Did 50 go too far in trying to expose Big Meech for allegedly snitching, or did he make a mistake? How is Lil Meech doing? Was 50 right to cut him off, or was he just letting his emotions run the gamut? Ross is clearly enjoying himself, but do you guys think he really stole 50's masters, or is he simply trolling for laughs? Don't forget to give your thoughts in the comments box after reading this.